Hello, Leo. Welcome to your June creative forecast. My wonderful darling fur child has decided to join today, so Eva says hello. Right? Yes. Um, so this is for June. There's a ton of great energies happening that you can surf in June. So we have the Saturn retrograde starting on June 4th, which is a good time to look at different structures, traditions, systems, rules, that kind of thing, and that we're participating in them, yes, but then also kind of looking back at and looking at why we do that, right? And sort of reflecting on that in a way that helps us to move forward, integrating what we need of it and what works for us, and that's in our highest good that we can carry forward or that we can choose to leave behind and integrate where it is, right? So that's happening on June 4th. Then on the 14th, we have a full moon in Sag, which is going to be a great time. I get this vibe of a big picture pull back and this integration and this invigoration of a lot of light and optimism as well. But also, further to the point of it's sort of an infusion of optimism in these bigger life philosophies and things like that. And I'm getting that the Saturn retrograde is sort of looking at how we get all of that done, right? So then after that, on the 28th, we have the Neptune retrograde, which kind of is a look at the illusions that we hold about ourselves and the world and how we're navigating those things. And the Neptune retrograde can be a good time to look at the things, Neptune is like the redeemer energy, right? There's a book by Liz Green, Lizgreene, Liz Green, about Neptune, and she has a ton of great books on the topic as well, just if you're looking to learn more about astrology. But there are themes of this, like pulling back the veil and seeing things very clearly, be it ourselves, ways that we have been acting or reacting. Let me just turn it this way here so that you get more of the table in for the cards. And you still see that squishy little face. But yeah, Neptune is about the things that we think will save us and, or redeem us, or the things that we feel need to be redeemed about ourselves. So that energy you might find just coming up naturally. This isn't an invitation to jump into work like that and work all the time. It's more of an invitation to look at the energy of that and surf it, right? And to ride that energy. And this is all building on the Gemini new moon on May 30th as well. So yeah, so this is going to be a really great time. And when I was meditating on your energy, Leo, I was thinking about the thickness of tree bark. So the big theme, so first and foremost, the big theme of the readings for the creative forecast that came through in my meditations was photosynthetic dreaming. And this idea of sort of dreaming ourselves to life through the processes similar to photosynthesis in plants, right? That we mirror in terms of taking these raw energies of sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide and transmuting them and turning them into something that is not just sustaining for others in an ecosystem, but that also produces like a sweetness and a tenderness in the form of glucose in the plants, right? So I was thinking about that energy. And for you, Leo, what came up was the thickness of tree bark. And I wasn't really making the connection. And then I read something that I had dove into before, just happenstance, and this is so guided by spirit. I love it when this happens, but it talked about how tree bark thickens in areas where forest fires and fires are common. So tree bark thickens as sort of a genetic adaptation of the tree. So the thickness of tree bark sort of protects the sapwood in the tree. And then the other thing to keep in mind too is that with this sort of layering, what came to mind was like a thicker skin. And then from there I was meditating and saw sort of auric layers thickening. So I didn't know if there was something to know or tend to in terms of your auric layers and your creative potential and capacity in June. But it felt pretty important, and Sagittarius has a similar message as well, so you might want to check that out if you have any placements, or if you're just interested, because it was very your reading and Sagittarius's reading kind of wove together really well, so that might be something to check out. But let's do this. All right, let's do this, Leo. So I'd like to invite the angels, my guardian angels, my spirit guides, protectors, teachers, and their healing energy to this space. And I ask that it is a safe and brave space that allows for the fullest expression of our light, humanity, ascension, and healing. Okay, so we're using the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle. You can't hear it, but my little sweet potato is purring, and it's just warming my heart so much. She might take off as soon as the cards start shuffling, like the tarot decks themselves. She's not a big fan of loud noise, but I mean, who is? Who is, right? So, what do you think? Is that the right one? Yeah. Yes. Okay. Divine discernment. Step back to find clarity. I feel like that's a really good message. Just in general, like there's going to be a lot of different energies afoot and afloat. And, one of the things to keep in mind too is that energy is kind of speeding up. I think there was a Christina Lopes video that talked about that recently in terms of burnout. And, had I known that when I sort of developed the autoimmune disorder that I did when I was in grad school, I didn't, there was a lot of inward facing, shame and blame because I thought, oh, I'm just doing all of this stuff for nothing, and I did this to myself, right? It's that moment of radical responsibility. But there's something to be said for just taking a step back and remembering that we are as much the product of our own behaviors as we are placed within an energetic context, that if it's new to us in any capacity, we need to give ourselves the space to rest and catch up to that. So it's really about being patient with yourself as well. Oh, trip the light, fantastic. Dance with the universe. Yes, Leo. Yes, do it. Oh my gosh, that's brilliant. Oh my gosh, okay. I love the energy on that one. All right, so we're going to pull cards here and see where we go. Spirit, what messages do you have for Leo? What messages do you have for Leo? And for those who are wondering, yes, I released a ton of these videos today. I'm going to be releasing 6 more tomorrow. It's a departure from my typical posting, but I needed to recharge my batteries, so I took some time to do that, and I regret nothing. But I still wanted to get everybody some readings, so we're doing that too. So, yeah. Spirit, what messages do you have for Leo for this June creative forecast? Please and thank you. Ooh, 2 of Wands. The energy, so it's almost like the energy that you're grounding is like a look towards the future and what's next. My hand's a little bit. So we're looking towards what's next and what's happening in future and what's coming as well. So I think that I almost get the impression that there's something that you have you have an idea, or there's something that you have your sight set on. I don't get the impression that you're really loud about it, but it is something that is inspiring to you, and it's more of a wondering about it. It's like a wondering about the feasibility of something or whether it could work. And I feel like I'm hearing yes, but. So yes, but just means it's not impossible. There is some planning that needs to go into it, though, and that's where this 2 of Wands really comes into play. So I think that in the next couple of weeks, what you may find is that with these retrogrades, the momentum that you can build from them will really help to illuminate some of not just the planning process, but I'm hearing Capricorn too. So the Capricorn reading might appeal to you because that had a lot to do with time and like implementation. But it just, it's almost like balancing time and energies with a solid plan. And we have, in keeping with the fire theme of your sign, this is the Page of Fire. So, Page of Wands. Elemental Earth of Fire, though. These pages are Earth energy. Yeah, this is it's like taking it from a planning stage to the slow implementation of this. This is like a kind of learning card. This is the thing that you're growing. Like you're growing whatever this process is. This can also indicate like a new spiritual journey. And it doesn't necessarily mean like the spiritual journey of your life. This can mean like a subset of a journey. So a journey within a journey. 8 of Swords. This is the block. It's mental blocks, big time. I'm hearing that there's maybe a need for more fun, Leo, a little more fun, which is like, a lot of it can be your domain. But I think too that we can, in the implementation of things, we can get really caught up in what we think should be fun and what isn't fun. And I think this is where being in touch with your intuition right now, and staying in tune with, I'm hearing Crown and Third Eye, is going to be really important, because that's where a lot of this information is going to be coming into you. And I don't think it's going to be overly obvious, because it's addressing this 8 of Swords, these beliefs that you have. And it's almost like a way that you've like turned against yourself, right? Like I see these as like turned and ready for battle. So turned and ready for battle. I see you looking at me. Yes, I do. She's just so sweet. You are. It's like turned and looking. It's like turning, not turning against yourself, but it's almost like I'm seeing also you might be feeling like a pressure. Like I'm seeing this like wall, like the slowly one, like the ones in mazes and stuff like that. Not in a way that's going to like squish you, but like there's like a thought process that makes you feel that way. Like there's like a time attached to it. There's some kind of like timeline, or not a timeline as in like a thread of who you could be. Maybe that's the case for you, but what I'm getting more so is like there's the pressure of time, but time is really an illusion too, right? And then we have the Two of Pentacles. I'm almost getting that there's a way that the oxygen that you're producing is a way for you to exist outside of dualities, in this state of non-duality, but then also respecting the part of you that is in that, like that is embodied in a place where there is duality, and sort of looking at how we make decisions within that duality. So thinking in terms of either or, and really integrating a sort of both and into your spiritual practice, but also into the way that you manifest things in the world as well, my darling Leos. What I'm seeing here is almost the creative process. I'm seeing the creative process here. And then in this here, I'm seeing this way that you're integrating a lot of light into what you're doing. You're integrating a lot of light. But you need to let the light in as well. You need to let it in and absorb the fun, right? Like I'm doing these videos, and at the end of this week, I have I've booked Friday to do things like get my hair cut, but I'm gonna have a day with my friend, and that's gonna be like we have a ton of different plans, and then in the evening I'm gonna see another friend. So it's like you have to build in that time, even if it's for the sake of like fun, for the sake of fun. That's okay too, right? It's and like. Or just sing. It can be something as simple as like singing at the top of your lungs in your car, right? So I know that where I work, I have a very good Leo friend who is just like the embodiment of fun and wonderful, and we have such a great time while working, and I'm very grateful for that. So to my Leo pal, if you're watching, thank you. But it's really tapping into that sense of fun and play, because it adds a lightness to your heart, where if things feel heavy or you're in this whoa, that is not even a real shuffle, but it's okay. We'll do it again. Where it's sort of operating in this place of, it's very straightforward. Like this is like the planning that, we're growing something new and integrating these new ideas in this initiation energy. Like you're initiating a journey here. And I think your mindset is the biggest thing that you need to shift. That's the shift that needs to take place, or that will be taking place in June. And then this Two of Pentacles energy, again, it's like you're finding a way to pop out of this duality so that you can see how much is it really available to you in terms of options, right? So and for those of you wondering, I was going to put a hoodie on because I just some gender things, but I have a t-shirt that says introverted, but we'll discuss gender constructs. Yeah. And that's what I'm wearing. And I didn't, anyways, it's fine. Just in case people are like, what does it say? Yeah. It's my cheeky t-shirt. Non-duality though, Spirit. Okay, so we're going to clarify this. Spirit, can you please clarify these messages for Leo for June, for their creative forecast, please, in these auric layers? There you are. Ba-bam. You're showing up right in this planning process. I feel like there's something that's really energizing about what you're putting into place. Like it's not just manifesting. Sometimes getting into the details can feel so damn juicy. Like it just feels so good. So good. And I think that's really, it's like an invigoration for you. It's really exciting. And I think that it's okay to stay there for a while. Don't get stuck there. So we have Six of Swords. Don't let yourself get stuck there, but do be energized by that, right? Do let yourself be invigorated by those details, because that's where you draw energy from for yourself, and you cultivate your energy for the long haul. And there's Saturn. Yeah, the world. This is also fixed signs inclusive of yours, Leo. So this is Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, and Scorpio. Spirit, what messages do you have for Leo, please? I think I'm hearing too that it's important to do things that speak to the sign that's in your fifth house. Because that's how you might find joy to be most like effectively expressed through that house as well, right? So I think that's really important too. Whoa. Okay, so that's a lot. We're not going to take that. I'm seeing like a lot of moving away from things that don't really feed you, and that's really good. And it's not like we can't expect to be fed by life. Like that's a sort of entitlement facing life, energetically speaking. But I think that you do have a right to feel energized by things happening, right? And things going on in your life. And I think that that's a normal expectation to have. Like, I think it's a really good one to have as well. And I see the Five of Cups here, and I think you're leaving behind this tendency or inclination towards disappointment perspectives and seeing disappointment instead of joy and disappointment instead of pleasure and like leaning into those things more so, right? So I'm going to pull these cards here and see what else we've got. So we have the Page of Wands, 9 of Swords, actually. Okay, so I think that there's like some worry about this process or how you're going to make something a reality. And this could just be like a goal that you have in terms of like fitness or spiritual life or something along those lines where you're trying to figure out how to implement something. Sorry, my neighbor's mowing the lawn and they've decided to start quite early today, but that is okay because they'll be done that patch in a minute. So we have the 9 of Swords and the Chariot. So the Chariot is Cancerian energy. This could be, it could be something to do with family, but I feel like ultimately this is a forward motion and a kind of small victory over the things that you fear, right? I see these two sphinxes here as the integration of two energies that you're bringing together that are allowing you a better, it's like a forward movement. So there are not these parts of you that are kind of split between, and then we have the King of Pentacles. This is like, it's like the evolution of your idea into something really grounded, or the evolution of your goal or some energy that you're cultivating or working with, because it go back to the auric layers, right? So I think that this is like, this is sort of like, wow. Okay. So I just got this image too. There are different truths that you're kind of worried about. But there are different truths. These can be worries, but then on the flip side of worry, I'm getting that there are truths that are underlying the worry that you may be neglecting or not paying attention to. And by paying attention closely to those truths, it's going to allow each one of these in nines, in terms of a cycle ending or nearing the end of a cycle, it's going to become like a truth instead of a worry. So it's like thinking more from that perspective. And even if it's not at that point yet, I feel like that's coming. But I think that the biggest thing right now is that you just have to be open to that, my lovelies. You just have to be open to it. A willingness, right? We don't have to know all the answers because we make the way. We make the way by walking it and by, walking that path. So I think that there is, and then, so I feel like this is better advocating for yourself and some boundaries perhaps. But again, this ace is like the idea, and I think this is the implementation of it. You might feel like there's some resistance either within you or within others about it. But I think the main thing to focus on is that this is, together, these make up an 8 of Wands. Which to me says that the big picture here that we're looking at is the messages that you're sending to others and that others are sending you, and how that might be affecting your inspiration or making you feel a little bit defensive. And defensiveness is, I think it's a response that we can learn to in the ways that we have to, if we have to protect ourselves over a long period of time, that's going to be our first response, right? Or if there's some way that we haven't yet dealt with the energies that we have about something. I know I had to work through this a lot when I was coming out in the church and things like that. Like I came out, and then this was when I did undergrad, and there was this like Christian group, and I was I was active in it. And when I came out, it was such a shock because it ended up splitting the groups. There was the one group through InterVarsity, and then a whole other group started up, and this was in 2005. So keep in mind, this was when gay marriage was legalized in Canada. So this was not it was not like, so it wasn't kosher, so to speak, broadly speaking, and it caused this split. So it's almost like I had to undo over the years, and this took a lot of work, but I had to undo all of the messages about who I was being wrong and just being born bad, right? And I think a lot of queer folks who grow up in the church have to deal with this, but I think that we also get into this place of needing to do that with our spiritual lives as well, especially if you have these different abilities, spiritually speaking, and you can read energies, and it provides you with an extra bit of information, or there's like some kind of panache that you have when it comes to navigating situations, and it can leave others feeling unsteady, but it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. But these internalized messages about either your success or whatever your journey is right now, and I think that that's where this is the block that's showing up. It could be internalized messages that you didn't realize that you internalized about success, about your spirituality, about those types of things. And it's like I see it because I've had to take that journey myself. But it's just the way this Ace of Wands and the Seven of Wands is showing up here. And just remembering, Leo, that it's not, it's just because something is common doesn't mean that it's any more right than what your experience is, right? So just keep that in mind too. But I think these blocks too can be different ways that we build up defenses to success, because if we're really inspired and we're not accustomed to feeling empowered, that can be really scary. So it's almost like setting yourself free in a way. And it's like taking time with it, being very patient with yourself in the way that you're offering your energy and your time to yourself, right? We do this to others and for others. We give of ourselves. But I think that there's a way here that we are needing to step into that for ourselves. Yeah. Page of Pentacles, Queen of Wands. I'm seeing too that there are a lot of helpers around you right now. I feel like this is like a slow and steady going. And the minute that you think that you're in more of a page energy, like it's like a sort of either a deceleration or like you go from this night energy of like, yes, I've got this. And then you go into the page of like, whoa, no, I don't. No, I don't. You step into this Queen of Wands energy, which is so much more your own, Leo. And it's like this passionate, ambitious energy. It's like this feeling of like anything is possible, creatively speaking, in terms of your spirituality, your beliefs. This is a really good way to understand how it's like your determination is on display. But this is also having deep passion for what you do. And passion is part of who you are, and tapping into that more and being unafraid of offering it to others with this pentacle in energy, in messages, in message formats here. So I think it's like a deeper offering to others. Yeah, see, Fool and Six of Wands, yeah. So I think, yeah. I think you're headed in the right direction, but there's still just some doubt here. And I think June is going to be a time of, it is going to be a time where you may need to work with or feel the energy of, again, Christina Lopes put out a video recently that was really helpful for me in terms of cultivating your energy, or that's the way I conceive of it, at least, where you picture your aura around you as filling up. Do check out the video. It's so good. And, I have I can picture things sometimes, but it's easier for me to feel them. So it was helpful because she talked about that as well, which really, I was like, oh, someone put something in there that was like, it wasn't assuming that everyone just can visualize stuff. So it was really helpful. But I find it doesn't just cultivate the awareness of your energy around you and what you can do. It sort of illuminates and shines a light on the cords that we may have attached. And I say this because then you can clear them, which is a great process to do. But then you can clear them, and it's like you can not only clear them, but you can see what's yours and what's not. You can see what's yours, what's not. But then the other part of this too is that it also has a positive impact on on your aura, on your auric layers, right? It sort of helps to clear them and to clarify them so that they become sharper. If you're looking for great resources on auric layers, Cindy Dale's books are phenomenal. She probably has a ton of YouTube videos as well where she's done interviews and things like that. But I tend to default to her work. Anodea Judith is another author that has a lot of information on chakras, and chakras tend to correspond to the auric layers as well. So just keeping that in mind too. Yeah. But I almost get that it's like this is where this non-duality is coming into play here. Yeah, there's the Eight of Wands. And this is forward movement and momentum. It can mean travel, but this is more forward movement. You have a lot of movement cards here, right? The Six of Swords, the Chariot. I honestly, I see the Eight of Wands or the Ace of Wands as a movement card because it's the ideation of something before implementation. So that to me is movement. We have the Eight of Wands. And then we also have the Knight and the Page, which are slower moving, but also movement cards, right? Movement of messages, movement of energies. So I feel like there's shifts that are taking place. So when it comes to this energetic component, I think that's where the non-duality is coming into play. And when it comes to the bark thickness, it's less about, this is sort of weaving all of the themes together in this energy here. Yes, my darling. Oh. Okay, just a little fist bump. That's fine. I'm getting this sense of, oh my gosh, she is so cute. How are you so adorable? What? She's such a ham. Oh my goodness. But it's like this sort of cultivation of your energy, Leo, where you are integrate. It's like the way I look at it is almost akin to like a soul journey and kind of idea, right? Where you're taking the lessons of something and you're applying them, or it's like I'm almost seeing like oh my gosh, several thoughts just went through my head. I'm seeing like a quilt being sewn of your energy, and it's like stitching things together in your auric layers, so that it like it's something that is based on your energy, not what you've been told and not borrowed, right? But it's also an integration of energies that are ancestral as well. And I feel like there's some way that it's going to be really important for you to do grounding practices. Not because there's a charge to this energy, but you will feel the energies shifting, and you will feel that quilt like coming together. I have no idea where this is coming from, but it's so cool. You'll feel that quilt coming together. And I say quilt because it's almost like a tapestry of lessons and mental energies and all of the different bodies. Again, check out the Sag reading because very similar vibe with tree rings. But I think that there's some way that the rearranging of this energy for you is helping you to operate from a place of a more expansive non-duality that is allowing you to see more of what's possible and to dream bigger is what I'm hearing. To dream a little bigger. I am just... She is so adorable. You know people are watching, don't you? Anyway, my baby cat nods to you, the big cats of the zodiac, right? Yeah. She's so adorable. Oh my gosh. Tarot end of performance. So we have the Two of Pentacles, and clarifying that, Leo, is the Six of Wands. So I think that this is something that it might feel like it's taking a lot. Like, get lots of rest and drink a lot of water. I heard another tarot reader talk about this too, and I was like, yeah, that's actually really important. Lemon water. I think it was Sasha Bonason, actually. Drinking lemon water is just like a really good detoxifier. And you can have it warm, but doing it in the morning really helps to set the stage, and it also helps to sort of address the pH in your system. Lemon concentrate, just add 2 or 3 drops. I know. Okay. If you add like 2 or 3 drops to your water, it can really help to balance your body's pH. And you would think it's acidic, but when it meets with your body, it becomes a more alkalizing substance. So, and the Two of Pentacles, yeah. So this is like a reiteration of energies for me that highlights the importance of this sort of non-duality or non-dual way of being. But I'm also getting, so because of this little cheeky ham, I'm getting that it might be important for you to be in like a frisky place a little bit. And just to be in that sort of playful place that doesn't care who's watching. And even if it's just like 1 or 2, minutes of that for you, because I see that here with the Dance with the Universe card. And just really leaning into that sort of unashamedly, because like that is not a face that feels any kind of regret, right? And thank goodness for animals. Oh my gosh. What? Yeah, she does not like the shuffling of a tarot deck. She like got up right away. Did you see that? Okay, so Page of Cups, Two of Pentacles, Page of Cups, King of Swords. You could have some air in your chart somewhere, but I'm getting that there are, or this could just be the Aquarian lessons, like the sign that is across the hall from us, zodiacally speaking, can offer some lessons that will help us balance ourselves. I'm an Aquarian, so you folks, Leos, you're across the hall from me, and I've learned so much from you. And that's where it's just like leaning into that sense of fun and pulling out of one's mind. And I think this might be a call to befriend your mind a little bit, and to make it work for you rather than against you, in terms of really seeing things very clearly. And this is sort of a good point of departure to the cutting through of illusion with the Neptune retrograde, right? So I think that this is sort of bringing things into balance. This is sort of it was a message of non-duality here, but then there's something that you're going to be emerging victorious over in terms of balancing these energies in the 3D. And I think that this is a bit of a heartfelt offering towards yourself. Like you're able to open up more of your heart, not just in terms of love for others and self, but in terms of opening up your energy as well to possibilities, to new ideas, that kind of thing. Like there's a lot that's possible for you here. There's definitely a lot that's possible for you. And I think it's just that one of the big messages I'm getting here, though, is discernment. And this is where it may just be good to cultivate some quiet, and also to cultivate spaces where you can just be, right? Without any pretense, and just relax and quiet your soul, so that your soul, because we can get like all the sleep we want, but if our soul doesn't have a place to rest, even just for a moment, and just to be in the absence of us doing anything to change the energy or fix it, it can almost be like we're not really seeing ourselves. So it's really important for you to be in that energy right now, Leo. So as I've done for the other readings, I'm going to pull from the Hedge Witches Botanical Oracle. And big shout out to Dan and Jerry, who got me these. My friends got me this for Christmas, and they too, both Leos, incidentally. So how the heck did I end up with so many fire sign and Leo friends? You guys are my BFFs. I'm just going to get the book here from which to read this. I think I put it down here. Maybe not. Let's play a game called Where Did I Put That? I see it. I see it. Give me one moment. Uno momento. Okay. All right. In the meantime, you got to see this adorable face, so it's all good. There you go. Do you want to clear it? Oh, thank you. Okay. Spirit, what messages do you have for Leo, please? Ooh, morals. Oh, those are so good. Regenerate, and that is fungi. I know people call it fungi, but I say fungi. It's fine. We'll get there. So morals, M-O-R-E-L. Let me pull this up here and give it a read for you. Let me do this here. Can you still see it? Maybe. There we go. Highly prized as a culinary ingredient, the morel mushroom is one of the most sought-after foragers' delights. Despite many attempts, this is still an undomesticated organism and can only be found in the wild. So exciting. Leo, that's so much like you as well. Morels are rich in vitamin D, iron, and B vitamins. They should never be eaten raw, and proper identification is essential because many fungi are friendly, but many can be toxic and deadly. So use extreme caution. And there's an Instagram page called Black Forager, and as she says, don't die, right? When looking for morels, you will most often spot them under or around pine, elm, tulip, sassafras, beech, ash, sycamore, and hickory. However, ash and elm seem to be this fungus's favorite, especially if the trees are dead or dying. Morels can be elusive and mysterious, so hunting them down is half the fun. In forested areas that have been damaged by fire, holy crap, Leo, think about this with the bark. Oh my goodness. So yeah, there's like parts of you that are dying and coming back to life. Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Geek out. Tarot geeking. So, in forested areas that have been damaged by fire, morels will often come back with a stronger bumper crop in the following year. This quality has inspired its oracle property, regenerate. Rotting stumps and deadfalls, scorched, clear-cut, or disturbed ground can be the best places to find morels. Though many people have tried to cultivate them, their efforts have been met with very little success. The natural cycle of forest life and death is essential to this organism, relating it to the tarot card Death, so Scorpio, which reminds us that devastation is often the gateway to regeneration. Oh, I love fungi. It's so cool. Oh my gosh, I'm a nerd. I know this. I'm leaning into it. But this, Leo, is like where I feel like this is really that energy of like, it's a clearing out of the auric layers, but it's like a reorganizing things. And it's like a reinvigoration, regeneration, renewal that it's almost like a spring for your soul in a way, in some aspect with whatever it is that you're planning for. This could be creatively, this could be in relationship. You could be planning for like some kind of next step in a relationship. You could be planning for something like that, 3737 on the time. So I'm really getting that quite strongly. And in terms of signs, I have Leo, so I have you, which is, it's sort of it's an auspicious sign of you being in your power in June. Like there's something really powerful happening, yes, but it's happening with your best interests in mind. Like it's really, I say often, like, it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. And I feel like this is really powerful messaging with you showing up first, like right out of the gate. You're like right there. That there's something that's been changing, but there's a way that you're doing more with it than you might believe. You're doing more with it than you might believe. So we have Leo, we also have Saturnian energy. And that can be related to 10th house, and that's Capricorn energy. And we also have Cancer in the Chariot, and we have a lot of Wand energy. It's sort of an even balance between, well, more Wand than Swords, but yeah. So it's sort of integrating passion and beliefs and thoughts about it. So we're gonna pull more for you, Leo. So let me pull from the Miracles Now deck here. Actually, I'll do the chakra deck first. Do you want to do that one too? Oh, thank you. I feel like that's her way of clearing the deck. Even though I know that it's not. It probably, I don't know, but energetically it just feels like she's quality control, right? Right? Yeah. Spirit, what messages do you have for Leo, please? Unity. Yeah, non-duality. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I see the unity and harmony within the polarities that I am experiencing and choose to align with the center point of balance, harmony, and love for one and all. I open to seeing with fresh eyes a more balanced perspective. The truth of this matter lies in between the polarities within which I am resonating. I unite. Yeah, big time. Self-worth. I am worthy. I listen to my needs and desires and honor myself. I give myself the time, space, and loving kindness that I need to make manifest all that I am. I discover my true self by going inward and becoming my own best friend. I nurture. Yeah, it's like cultivating that sense of self. And that too, that energy is also the beneficiary of you doing that energetic sort of the words are escaping me, but it's like the sort of feeling your energy and pushing your aura out so that it's not really contracted, right? That also benefits your sense of self-worth, expands because you're energetically taking up more space. So your soul recognizes that there's a way that your everything around you is going to acclimate because you're setting the energetic temperature with that too. So let's pull from the Miracles Now deck to close it out for you, Leo. This reading is a bit on the long side, but that's okay. When in doubt, I choose to see peace. I love that. And it really is a choice, right? And in a way, I think it's like when people say choose yourself in situations, like I think that's really what we're doing is we're prioritizing our peace of mind. We're prioritizing peace for ourselves because then when we do that, we can give to others and others can meet us in that frequency and vibration. So I think that's really what that means. In the midst of a meltdown, I breathe through the discomfort and come out the other side. Yeah, I think this is a big, and meltdown can just mean like intense anxiety, right? And what I'm seeing though, interesting, I just got the image of like a meltdown coming in the form of like almost like a hole in the aura. Like there's a way that energy was escaping. I don't know what vision she's having, but it looks really intense. But like there's like holes in the aura that are, it's like it's escaping, energy is escaping, and that's sort of causing this rush of feelings. So it could be, Leo, not that there's it could just need, you may need to strengthen your aura a little bit to really process and sort of alchemize emotions that might otherwise punctuate your auric field if they're unintegrated or not worked with because they have sharp edges to them. Yeah, that's what I'm getting for you. So Leo, this is your reading for June. This is your creative forecast reading. If this resonated, please like and subscribe. It helps me to grow the channel, and I'm very, very grateful for everyone who's joining me here. So thank you so much for that. And there are other ways you can connect with me on the channel, but if this is where we leave it, Leo, I wish you, wherever this finds you on the time-space continuum, morning, afternoon, or night, I hope that it finds you very well, wrapped up in so much love and feeling all kinds of your frisky selves in the light. All right, Leo, take care.